we now enter session 7, which promises to be a captivating exploration of textile narratives on the Mangkotepsü, the head-taker's shawl of the Ao Naga. This session will feature a special song on the origin of Mangkotepsü, performed by Rongsin Binya and Nungshian La. The Listener Festival is organized by the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, and the Sangeet Natak Academy, with Imasi Foundation as the knowledge partner. This will be a joint session of the Ministry of Culture and the Listener Festival, as it's an experiential part of the ICH Capacity Building Workshop. So, to help us delve into this intricate world of textiles and the stories they weave, we are honored to have Mrs. Sentila T. Younger, a renowned textile curator and the convener of INTACH Nagaland chapter, as our esteemed discussant. Please warmly welcome her.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are running a little late, so we'll try and rapidly wrap up the session. So, I think for the visitors who've come in here in the last 1-2 days, this shawl must have been a very familiar sight to you, but it wouldn't have been in this color in the median. You would have seen it in a lot of different colors. And so today, I'd like to just tell you the origin of this shawl and how the Ao, we revere this shawl. When we look back at our history, the Ao is said to have emerged from 6 stones. And that place in which we emerged is called Long Turok, which literally means 6 stones. Now the 6 stones were 3 couples, 3 pairs, and they were the progenitors of the Ao, and they formed the 3 main clans of the Ao, which was the Punganer, the Longkumar, and the Jamir clan. Subsequently, many other sub-clans have emerged, but these are the 3 main clans. And so from Long Turok, the 6 stones, the Ao, they migrated to a place close by called Chungliimti, and we take Chungliimti as the ancestral village of the Ao. Now in Chungliimti, the times were very turbulent because the Ao was surrounded by a lot of enemies. And so every day the menfolk would go and battle their enemies. And so to motivate the menfolk, the woman would sing a song. And I'll come to that later. And so now to give an explanation into this, the different motifs, and as you can see, there are different, there's different animals and birds over here, and how intrinsic they are into our cultural heritage. I will invite Guru Sangyusang and Guru Chubatungzit to come and explain to us. So now, as we go along, both of them will tell us the symbolism in the shawl and why are these animals and birds and symbols of male symbolisms like the spear and the machete on the shawl that will be explained to us as we go along. Now I'll invite Dr. Guru Sangyusa to start. Can we give them a microphone, please? Yeah, both of them. Thank you.
Asan chungayimdi sangartam. Asan lima no magata earlier structure inimilier. Anoji asano toward me asano chungayimdi kamlo kayu zadama meranga rera saladuya.
강화당 종을 두볼 알시아우 자수시 비일레마 감르가 아유 자수시 누긴 것을 동물농농 이따 아다슬라 다 니야 빌름을
야 asano ke medetsu baye structure ji tas tai asano ke sasa ka hoz anoji niwo ya tera meranga rera misrabangla asano ke structure ji moglis ta pilim mardo
아스노게 즉지르지 아국능왕 고낭나루건 염롱이 아도스 아농지 두볼 아자기 동농농 이따 르르마 아다슬라
So now the discussion between the two of them is that, yes, menfolk, warriors, we need to be prepared, and we need to be prepared to take on our enemies, and how should we motivate them? And so this is the time.
Sira asano merangsa de ma chungimji sira asano atama nangakabo inyak tuje na chungimji sira bangla aro panok pilamba asano na ba
아이자 바룩자 바룩이야 기지빌름을 아지 아성당 레디
Nên nói mình đang mang cu cái chuyện bên nào rồi, nó trong cái gì thế, mang cu tiếp chỉ à, ta chỉ đi đâu nó làm được đâu, tại sao mình bắt cần chỉ thế này?
ai osala yonu kabo tsir de meda kanata jon dirbo asano meranga re zade sama
Mình cần thế này đâu, Londor ko boga.
Lonto rogo boger
Ali de yada.
mena ale de ota
Shari de ma so ba ji da go ner wuro shari de.
shari de ma song ba shi da go ana wuro shari de
Donye shiga donde ba agone.
lo nye shi ga don de ba go ne
O trong em de zir de mi ayo lam de zir.
오 종애임디 쓰리 아이고 름데스바
Shari tu ma go.
셔리 동바 고글 Mangkotepsü adasidi dalımda suguni ay kındagoni.
Okay, so what the song was about is she comes in and she motivates the men that whosoever goes and fights and brings back a human head trophy, to him we shall paint the trophy head on his shawl as a mark of his valor and a mark of his status, as of that day he is a Nukinkitter, which is he is a warrior, a brave warrior. Okay, so here is the shawl in question, which is Mangkotepsü, which literally means painted on cloth. And how is that shawl painted? And I will show you in the next few slides. This is the tree, Tsungko, from which the sap is collected. And when the artist, he wants to collect the sap, he will make cuts on the trunk of the tree and in a zigzag fashion so that the liquid, the sap drips into a bamboo vessel over there which collects it. Then he will collect the leaves of the tree and the leaves of a particular bamboo species, which in Ao we call ashi. And the leaves of that bamboo and the leaves of the Tsungko tree are burned and the ash is collected. Now the ash is pounded and that powder is mixed into that liquid, into that white sap, and this is how it appears. It appears to be in a very dark shade of grey. And this is how the shawl is painted with a bamboo nib. And as you paint along, the grey pigment starts turning to black. And now, in the past, when this used to be painted, if it should seep through the fabric, then that is a bad sign for the wearer, so they would reject it, and then another new medium, the white cloth, is brought and they will start all over again. So now our two gurus will give us the explanation as we go along, and this is how a young artisan is painting it. And today, this is a languishing craft. I think there are just a few handful of people who practice this craft. And what we see now is the embroidered version that everyone wears today.
양이 종임들이 주고 스도 따지고 이반노 전국의 녹사 뜻을 아급바 아제 아벤사 양의 닥터려 아노지 그시 녹사 그제드마 아시 라차시리 양이 이바 lulu tineri asradik lak ya atapaya serabor mabanong lulu tajar iba yang ludang serabor mabano alphabet lulu wa magasar anoji serabori kinong noksa adapaji iba mayanglu dasabajagi iba tulonglo asradik lak ya serabor lulu ta ajar.
So the shawl, it begins, the median band, the white median band begins with the I, as you can see, 4 round circles, and then the zigzag, since the ow did not have a script, so the meaning is the forefathers beginning of writing a script.
Tana buano yangi tana taser alivaya chong tombang yaudang serabor pi tagam tamakam nok zanama chong bongar wa rara daswa tamaiz iba ya chong the iba inokba aser.
So what he just pointed out is the shield. And the shield is a male symbolism to also let people know that this is a male shawl, and by that male symbolism, you know that it is a male shawl.
Ano yangi kasak noksan nalir taswa ibai serabor songam serabor mabano ar nodang zadma yemje songamage tang ta asbangar yaru tasno iba tamaizi ibai songam.
Okay. So what he just pointed out is, the village gate, the gate, and in every village we call it sangam, which means a barricade. So since it was, the time when there was so much of head taking and wars, so every village would barricade itself, and this would be the main gate. And that is what he is telling us.
Ta odishi iba tangi antobong ta ajar iba antobong yage miyengji adama amang sangwa pandanga sangwa aroni ta sangokje nugingger subuzi sebor juk musudang antubung ama juk musul asir zikshir sengkem alama yemdanga audang antubung ama yemdanga awur ta iba tete nongji inuwer.
So the symbol of the roosters on the shawl is indicative of daylight. The rooster crows. The first thing that we hear in the morning is the rooster that crows. And just like it heralds the new day, and just like it is alert, the expectation that the wearer, the warrior, would be as agile and as alert as the rooster. And now you must understand that each symbolism here is not that you are that, but the expectations that you would emulate these qualities is what the shawl indicates. And even to have any one of these emblems painted on the shawl would require the authorities, the village authorities, to give you that right, to give you the right to your merit. And so you just can't randomly paint something that you want and wear it. They would decide that you are deserving to have these symbols on your shawl. And so that is, they will see whether you have these qualities in you, or you could achieve and aspire these qualities, and only then the village authority will give you the right to have these symbols painted on your medium band. Next. Next year. Chibili.
이바 시루로 당야 아우 우시농 물롱 숭어다 아자 아름 시루로 롱롱 바야 드사시 시루로 바이 즉질 아이가 덥스들 아스 미음지에 바들라라 아농지 덤랑을 아번스 조고덥스 망고덥스 아스 농지 시루로 드사시 물롱 숭어야 예노 자부르미.
So the king of animals is the lion, and just like the qualities of the lion, forefathers thought it would be deserving of the wearer of the shawl to have that symbolism painted on the shawl, of bravery, of majesty perhaps, and all the qualities that they saw fit to have on the wearer of the shawl's medium band.
Ano yange tana ler asar tasong bakaler iba bai servo mabano sen malen amshiba servo mabano India tang sen bai Malaysia je iba yagi iba sen yagi alia tabo aja alia samalan servori iba Chapelia Amsharubagi Ajarno Tematiba Lonson Iba Chimpodipano Inopa.
So that triangle is called chabeli, which was used as currency in the past before money currency came into the Ao area, into the Ao country, and this from the forefathers' days was used as the currency, and that was very precious because metal was not mined in the Ao area, but rather it was traded from outside, probably Assam, from where the metal would come in, and that was so precious that it was used as a currency and during barter trade. And having that symbolism is also signifies wealth, and the wealth of the wearer. Now the shawl is morphs from being a status for a wealthy man into a head taker shawl with all these symbolisms in it to traverse the journey of the wearer. So that would also mean the wearer is a wealthy man.
Ano tiyo ajanong bae intay nga soga daliba ibadange as dancer. Servo mabano yimji asagi tang ta Doctor no kumno gadama asir aliba tamaiz iba ta lena no soba dange as ta ajan tana bono yangi tlen kelen gasada subaya iba dange zerbor kasailin shiba mai lo mai iba dange longtang ta ajan
Longtang meaning
longtang kelen.
Okay, so as you can see on the median, there are vertical lines that outlines each animal, each emblem, and that is symbolizing a fence, because in the primordial past we were constantly at war with each other, and for taking enemy heads, because that brought a lot of prestige into the family, and especially for the person who has brought in an enemy head. And that also reflected, and it was like some form of bringing fertility into the village. So that is to symbolize how each village would construct a fence around their perimeter to ward off all the enemies and to safeguard themselves. And on top of the, the outer borders, you will find a running zigzag line on both sides. That is also, to indicate an early form of writing which the forefathers used.
Ipa uzu dangya yumi uzu ta ajar uzu rongno ipa uzu ya tanya shi ga jar anongji ubula no me ipa uzu ya pa taban tonarong anor asir uzu tulo ti lazam rongno bo pa ya tanya shi ga anongji iba uziya yemi uziya tani shir tam out meaning kanu amsha inugalir.
So the owl, before Christianity came in and we followed the animism, our whole lives was very surrounded and in tune with nature. And so centuries of living with nature, observing the seasons, observing the behaviors of birds and animals, which was so intrinsic in their ecology. So they found certain qualities from all these birds and animals, that this particular bird, the drongo, is the king of birds. We take it as the king of birds and as the leader, because every morning when the bird gets up, it'll lead all the animals, and every kind of birds would, fly behind it. And so that indicated leadership. So that was the expectation, that the wearer of the shawl would also emulate those qualities in himself. And this was the feather. Was a media. Yeah. As you can see, the tail feathers were very coveted because they became the ear decoration for both male and female members, and not everyone could wear it. Only if you have taken a head, or if you're a rich man, you were allowed to sport that earpiece. And when the bird, if the bird is shot down, or if it is, if it falls to its death, the bird very carefully falls down and will try its best not to destroy the tail feathers. And so even when it falls on the ground, you will find that it's always upturned, leaving the tail feathers intact, undisturbed and unblemished. And so in that same, symbolism, the wearer of the shawl is expected to have such fine qualities in him.
Tang ngashibado yimiya da sir tanum sayo kadang sai doa iba uziya tanum uzilir uzirong pa chuba ta sabur chimjaro pa sungtung tulo temanong adamer ali malor uzirong chuba sunungji sungtung tulo nong aluk nong adamer iba tadiji ubulanore tolak nong tembu nong songer tanam chimiji agya aro asir iba melanga shibaya 임지 우즈 바질리얼 땅 사요바야 뜨는 우즈 이바박지 라하시.
So now the next bird is the hornbill. The hornbill is so integral, quintessence to the, not only to the Yao but to all Naga groups, that the feather is so coveted. And as you can see, yesterday in their performance, they had all the hornbill feathers on their headdress. So that was very coveted. And why? We take the hornbill as the king of birds. Also, when the hornbill roosts, it's always on the biggest tree in the jungle, and at the topmost branches it will build its nest. And so that's why we honor the hornbill, we admire the hornbill, and we covet the hornbill, because the feather is a sign of prestige, it's a sign of status.
Ano, Sheti, Inokbaya, Zerbor, Shururu, Charno, Chuba, Tulu Diba, Tashi, Tulu Diba, Tamais, Inokba, Ta, Iba Sheti, Inokbaya, Ibala, Tamais, Inokba.
So now the elephant is the biggest, largest animal in the world. And so the old, in the primordial past, and even now, the elephant is admired for its strength and for its mightiness. And so they found that it would be appropriate to insert the elephant on the shawl so that the wearer would exhibit, would emulate the mightiness of the elephant and have the strength of the elephant, and at all times display its regalness.
이바야 망고 다 아잘 미음지를 굴락 우불라놀 시리 이바 망고야 벌레 아로디 뜻을드메 운항 나로건 발농 와록자 등자 야스 아농지 이바 근지 아이가 등작스는 봐요 우불라놀 이바 망고 굴락야 보시듭스 독자바 아로 아슬 이바야 담랑을 담마이즈 이노걸.
So now, up to this point, the shawl is called Mangkotepsü, painted on cloth. But when you insert that taken enemy head, then it morphs to the Mangkotepsü. Mangko means enemy head, so Mangkotepsü means shawl painted with taken heads. So this is, then you can call it Mangkotepsü, head taker's shawl of the Ao Naga. But until you have taken a head, you cannot put that symbol on your shawl. And only when it, and if you take more than 2 heads, if you take more than 10 heads, all that will be replicated on your shawl. And so people will know that, oh, this warrior has taken 2 heads, or just taken a single head, or he's taken 10 heads. And this is called the Mangkotepsü, the head taker's shawl. And only head takers are eligible to put that symbol on their shawl.
Anodang no aserne iba idongba tamaizi no jagi sokshir mango tanga aji pa amshir nil jagi sokshir aji aja tapsat shuru tamajwa iba jagi tapsat das ba jagi no asir nilji idem aja takongba sinoji zerbore ba tamaizi amshir.
So if you look at that collage over there, you will see that the two heads are on either side of the machete, which we call nok, and also in the Nagamese it's called dao, and the spear. These two emblems are male symbolisms, and the instruments in which you fight and face your enemy with the spear, and with the machete you go and you chop off the head. And so that symbolizes, and that is also to indicate that this is a male shawl.
이보당야 아우시노 스다 아잘 자불마방 실무랑아 알로임 실건능 롱슨 아가 발로기 느볼능 이멜롱 심물랑 아그즈즈 롱슨 달다 사유즈 이바 스야아기 답스다 벤종 아그자 스질다 드는 와드다 자 아로 아농지 다가 다이르 롱승갈 머드츠 미치 이바 스야 오불라누 이바 스능이 이노.
So now the two animals over there is the very reputed Mituns, Bos Fontalis, and for the Nagas, this animal is a symbolism of status, wealth, and also here in the shawl it indicates the wealth of the wearer, that he is a rich man and that he has hosted the whole village in a series of giving feast of merit. He has fed the village because of his wealth, and so he is a feast giver. And when you attain that status, you are eligible to also put the mituns on your shawl. And that indicates that the wearer is a man of wealth, status, and that he has given the feast of merit.
이바 시로로 당야 아오시노 기이 다 아잘 이바 시로로야 강하 뜻사시 아농지 미음지라가 이로즈 시로로마 아작 아월 아농지 오불라노르메 마방시야 이바 기이 뜻사시야 롱방아 답스다 아로 아농지 실트말라를 바로기 이바 기이 답야 더블 상시드다 답스다 아로 아노지 이바 뜨드 농지 이런.
So that was the tiger. The tiger had a lot of symbolism in the Naga cultural context. It was, fierce. The tiger is fierce. It was feared, and so also when a tiger is trapped or snared by the villagers, it was a day of celebration, because it was, you have won over his spirit. And we also believe in tiger spirits, so capturing a tiger and then snaring it brought a lot of prestige to the village, and especially to the people who would have killed the tiger. And so that kind of prestige is expected of the wearer of the shawl, that he would exhibit the same qualities of fierceness in his actions with his enemies, and he would be as agile and strong like a tiger. And so this was an animal which found a place in the medium because it was fit to be there.
Ano tang Yangi ane ita piteno ta inokba tete serbo mabanwa Anajaki Alima, John the Sanwaga, sir. Anoji Paroki, Servo Mabano, Sonamalan, Anaja Calamaro, Ibaji Tonti Banka. Tanabono, Auno, Itayaki, Mim Jernum, the Sanwaga, sir. Answer Ibati Yaridaba, Pidenu Yaki. Alima Janong Prangsha, Taburchunga da Asaba, Serbo Mabanoa, Ajaxi, Yasabajaki, Idem Tamai, Serbori, Kanga Tontibansa, Amsiba, Ino.
So your sun, the moon, and the stars are here because of their brilliance, and in the night is the moon, the light of the moon, the brilliance of the stars, and in the daytime it is the sun. So the person wearing it would be expected to shine with qualities in his life, and also the movement of the sun and the stars and the sun was indicator of the change in the weather, in the seasons, and it played a very important communication for farmers in that moment of time when, with no books, they studied the movement of the stars and the sun to find out the change of seasons, and in the night you get the brilliance of the stars and the moon, and so with those qualities that the wearer of the shawl would also shine in his life.
Imasi, Zerabor Mabambo, Kiga Sijir, Yimden Yimsisir, Tang Abana Aro, Saga, Lia, Sungpue, Kamter Bungo Tama, Yimrong Nong Budang Tenung Zulujir, Idamji, Lukti Sendindang, Abenz Ago. Saga, Yimden Yimsi Serdang, Abana Aro, Tanasung, Ibas Yagi, Waskot Kama, Abana, Tumla Kamer, Aro, Shoila Agir, Saga, Shidapa, Zabur Mabang, Tanagaru Bajibo, Yimden Yimsi Yimba Jirdamdang, Abana Aro.
So today the shawl has morphed as an everyday wear for our male members, but in the past it was only a very select category who were eligible to wear the shawl. Men who were rich, men who were deserving of, deserving of merit to wear it. Only head takers were eligible to wear it, and today this has become the general uniform of the Ao male, but still revered and taken very sacredly, and women, we are not allowed to wear it. It is absolutely sacrilege for women to wear the shawl. And so it has now morphed from a shawl into a waistcoat, to make it, like a convenience for men. And so this is it. This is the famous head taker's shawl. So I hope we have given you some insights into the famous Naga shawl as it is generally looked upon by everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sentila Younger and the two gurus for such an insightful journey into all the symbolisms of the Naga shawl. I would like to take this opportunity to invite Mr. Anish Rajan because he would like to felicitate our esteemed Ms. Sentila Younger and the two gurus. I invite Mr. Anish Rajan. Thank you very much. Before we proceed for lunch, I would also like to take this opportunity to invite Mr. Anjan K. Behora, the Acting Dean of English and Political Science, to please come up and felicitate our guests. Thank you. Mr. Anish Rajan, could you kindly stay on stage because our Dean would like to felicitate you on behalf of Tetso College. They have prepared some mementos to be given. Come, let me bring it. Now we invite Mr. Atul Sarma, Secretary General of MMGLD, Delhi. And finally, we have Professor Uma Papuswamy, Deputy Director of CIIL.
Okay, as our Dean Anjan remains standing, I'm sorry to take this time from our chairperson, Sentila. We have one more person we noticed a bit late, but then this time things are happening. Yeah, this is for you. Please, yeah, please go down. Like parallel sessions are happening, one up here and one here. And we have a very important person in our midst today, and he is none other than Professor Ramesh Gaur. He is from Indira Gandhi National Centers for Arts. Presently, he is the chair of the UNESCO Memory of World, and also he is the ex-director of for National School of Drama. He is a members of many boards of national and international importance. I had a session with him in our language archiving parallel virtually. You don't know me, but I know you very well. So as a sign of a token of appreciation from the college, yeah, I request you to kindly move on the stage.